in this final aerial. But before that, let's send it over to Barney on the stage.
Welcome everybody to the Qiddiya Esports Arena, right here live from Riyadh for the PUBG Mobile World Cup at EWC. I am Veracity, joined alongside the lovely Barney Banks. And Barney, I want to kick things off first and foremost for apologizing for my behavior yesterday. It was unacceptable, totally uncalled for, and this gorgeous stage is more than big enough for the two of us.
It is big enough for the two of us. You know what? We can let bygones be bygones. The stage is big enough. It's absolutely fine. I'll kick things off by talking about map number 1, because it was quite pivotal that two teams that were high up the leaderboard got eliminated early on, both Alter Ego and Team Falcons. But ultimately, at the very end, when the final circle pulled in, it was Nongshim Red Force going up against EDA Esports, and Nongshim Red Force took the victory and secured 23 points on the board, Veracity.
That's impressive, Barney, but I loved match 2. I'll tell you exactly why. Alter Ego Ares went from not a single elimination in match 1 to...
You know what, Veracity? I actually
15
don't
eliminations,
forgive
Barney.
you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take map number 2 and I'll see you later. Have some fun up there. Map number 2, after a dramatic shift south from the circle, it was teams descending onto each other, and ultimately Power Esports took the victory, even though Alter Ego Ares managed to secure 21 points on the board. Match number 3, we had a pretty slow start. Team Falcons secured a vital building. E-Arena took them out, and Nongshim Red Force faced off against Weibo Gaming. And again, for their second chicken dinner of the day, Nongshim Red Force managed to secure the victory. What a phenomenal day we've had so far. Only 3 games left, and we can't wait to see who makes it into the top 8. See you there.
This is not over, Barney Banks.
Someone get her down from there. Jasmine, do you need assistance? It's like some kind of Bond villain. It's just that, look, she's like, can someone...
All 3 games and see who will be grabbing that 80 grand that's up for grabs at the top spot. But not only that, the top 8 spots that will make it straight through to the finals, and which 16 teams will be joining us over in Survival. You
can see already, if you haven't been hearing the reverberations, the audio capacity, the set of lungs we've got on this audience when Falcons have been in the arena, well, you're probably going to be hearing some of that today. Hey, getting the little pre-game rituals in as well, Alter Ego. I don't think they need it. The way they have been performing as individuals and as one collective, the 5 fingers on one hand forming a fist for Indonesia and punching through the competition.
5 fingers?
Yeah, 5 fingers. Well, and a thumb.
It makes more sense with the 4 fingers as well.
And a thumb.
It makes more sense with the 4 fingers as well. 4 players playing.
Yeah, fair enough. You got me there. You got me there.
You had me.
Yeah.
You had me.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough, Blank. 1-0 Blank.
We have Erangel coming at you. We'll have 2 Miramars to finish things off, but this is our last Erangel of the group stage, and we'll be starting over in Severny down towards Old Sozinovka and military base. So the teams play this one out. We are starting very far up on the map here. Alter Ego currently on top, not far away from overtaking 4 Thrives in that first place position. Alpha 7 also hoping to maintain over towards the top 8 here with 69 points, followed shortly by Nongshim Red Force with the 67.
This is a nice stat to look at as well, man. Obviously with Falak not being here, but Rosemary still having opportunity to build on those high caliber plays he's been making. Unbelievable damage, fantastic impact. But this is what I was saying, right? It's not just him. It feels like the team has been setting up each other perfectly, Blank. The comms are clean, the decision making is brilliant. If they keep going like this, it's going to be devastating.
There's been a lot of talk about Rosemary, honestly, and there's a lot around him, but I think that when we really boiled it down, that there was a huge amount of success which was pinpointed around Alva as a player. In terms of his scouting, dangerous missions that he's been on to set the rest of the team up nicely. He's been a very, very key pickup for that squad to allow Rosemary to succeed in the way that he has. You can see the leaderboard right now, pretty tight, honestly, pretty tight. With Weibo currently at 58, TT with 59, Ida at 62. So there is chance for teams to jump up. It's not just Nongshim Red Force fighting for this one. They're in a worrisome position. Ida could overlap them potentially. We already have an engagement starting off here over towards AX, losing a player in Rozok.
Not the dream scenario you want going into the later half of the day. A rough drop. Oh, mate. It's not what you want, Blank. Try and get that sorted out immediately, get the things going, the blood pumping. Saw this yesterday with some of the decision making. Let's have a look though where we're going to kick things off. In-game POV, we join the Alpha 7 boys on the move. And again, like you said, I think they've been coming out, playing with a bit more of that classical flavour. It looks like Alpha 7 on the stage again.
Bit more gusto, yeah. Honestly. I really like that maneuver they made down towards Milta, you know, trying to play off the back of the road stop. Never that easy, honestly. They did eventually get wrapped on, but I think up until that point, they held their own quite nicely there. So I think for Alpha 7, they do want to have a much more explosive entrance here, but to be honest, at this point, at this stage of the tournament, they'd be quite happy just to get into the top 8, to get that free over towards finals. This is Alter Ego, actually. Who else other than Rosemary? Got a bit annoyed at us for talking about Alva too much, wanting to remind us who's the king.
Oh, it is crazy as well, because it's one of those dynamics, right? We say it sometimes, we have like a 2-2 split of players that compete amongst each other within the same roster. Whereas for them, like you say, they're passing the baton willingly, setting each other up to make sure that relay race for knocks, for damage, for placements is always clean. But yeah, obviously, if he gets an opportunity, Blank's going to take those knocks all damn day.
He'll show off. He will show off. I think for another team like that right now, it's somewhat of a different story. Is Alpha Gaming, where it's a weird one. Yeah. It does feel like a case sometimes where a player will just send out the rest of the team. They will just join in. Even that first today, we saw Alpha shoot down towards the south side to take out Team Falcons, despite having one of the strongest compounds inside that circle early. It was a weird one for me. The moment, they're not doing too badly, you know, 50 points, but they are in 15th right now with that scoreline. So they want to bump that score up. It would be a bit of a jump, but it's not out of the realms of possibility for Alpha Gaming to get just a gigantic match. It's hard to count this team out too early here. With 3 matches to go, though, not a lot of time left, and that fuse is burning down.
It is, and the base that will be behind it detonating, of course, is that rapturous, screaming energy we have heard again and again for the Falcons fans that have been in the arena. And that's scary. We were saying on day one, sometimes when things aren't going right, you're hearing that echoing constantly. It's more and more pressure that's being layered on you.
Yeah.
I'm worried if it's going to turn them into a diamond in the last 3 games, or if you will crumble under that pressure.
32 points for Falcons. It's not an ideal number to be on. 21st place as well. It would have to be a mega jump up. I think, if I'm being quite honest, a bit brutal, really. Yeah. I think Cole is the only player on that team at the moment I really see standing up. I mean, I've had a lot of admiration for Ralph, Nalvalo, Redox in the past years, but it's funny to me that their newest addition is the one who is showing the most gusto in these games. We'll wait and see for Falcons. There could be a miracle run, but for me at this point, very unlikely. Very, very unlikely. At this point, you kind of want the crowd to just be chill.
Let them build.
Yeah.
Let them build, then follow. Yeah. No, I know what you mean, man. I know what you mean. It can be that double-edged sword, you know. It's kind of, that's the way it's gone. But 2 sides to it, I guess.
Nongshim Red Force calling the right side of the coin each time it's flipped today, it seems. Some very good plays from them. Get themselves into 8th here, which would secure them if we ended things right now. I think Nongshim Red Force has had a nice run. Capitalizing off some teams' maybe inadequacies, we could say. But at the same time, it has just been some good maneuvers. I would put it down to just a case of strong understanding of the map. Macro looked pretty decent. They didn't overegg the pudding a lot either, which is something you see from Alpha Gaming quite a few times. Maybe need some more classes when it comes to bakery, or at least getting some chicken dinners.
I think for IDA as well, it's interesting. Obviously, it felt like they were more of a periphery team in some of the early matchups we saw towards the group stage. You were finding your way through with placements, playing off the zone, but never really being at the forefront of things. With the grouping the way it is, in points though, there's still a chance, mate, and it's looking better today. I think there is definitely a good air in there for them. You know, they've got that second win.
Right. The thing for them is, I've always classed them as an up-and-comer squad. They have some very young players on side. It's not easy always playing at a big tournament like this with all that pressure on. But they're a good team at heart. They're a very, very good team at heart. I think maybe it's early land jitters. This is only their second day of play. Everything could change. I do know either going to the survival stage is not going to be fun whatsoever. I don't think that's an easy place for them to be. I think they'd rather just make it straight through to the finals itself, get to watch all the play happen, and then just feel a lot more comfortable and researched going into that finals. So it does need to be a big push from either. Again, other teams are chasing. Got Thunder Talks as well as Weibo. And Nongshim Red Force, if they don't let up, could become a little bit more difficult to grab onto the coattails of those teams in the top 8.
Let's go back to your point as well for a similar team that, you know, the question mark was, will they struggle being thrown into the deep end of a big stage like this global event? For AX, I think, you know, day 1, day 2, honestly, they kind of just played their game. They showed up to really just give it their best. Over the course of the event, though, I'm curious to see if that's cooled off a little bit. This feels like an unlucky one for him. Obviously, 2 individual solo knocks there. Rosemary was able to claim 1. We just saw the second go down, so already losing a lot of that stock early.
I think it's tough as well when you have this group format where, you know, they're going to play day 1 and then they'll play day 3.
Yeah.
The issue for them is that I don't really think they found their stride in day 1, and then you're not playing. So you lose all momentum on that day 2. And I do think that there is something to be said where, you know, you come into day 1, you just own it, and you take your day off, and then you go into day 3, and you can just feel pretty happy in yourself. But there's a lot of maybe self-doubt, you know, rumination in the mind if you are AX on day 2. Is like, what can we do better? What can we do differently? I think 41 points is not a bad scoreline for a special invite team. I don't think they've completely lost the plot. So I think it's nice to see. I think AX can be proud of themselves, but survival stage will be a different beast. I am expecting to see AX in that survival stage on this current point score. Look down towards that southern side. R8 taking a knock. That's over towards Mansion, actually. You can see it on your screens as we bring up the map feed, which is available to you all at home, by the way. I'll head over towards PUBG Mobile Esports over at YouTube. Pick that one up. Keep tabs of your favorite teams and their rotates.
Follow all the action in one nice little neat package. Get the information that we use here live on the cast as well. Teams on the move now. Squash from the wraparound. Everyone else heading down. It's Gamax that's just ahead. And of course what remains of AX as well, taking a wide berth to join up, but we'll hold that for back over E-Arena on screens for now. You've got a crash down from the hillside with Kino Trope coming in. Mormon on the push back up. Ooh, big tag into the back. Quick response as they turn their heads and find that one. Tamar with the damage done. It's Big Papa Pump that's clipping legs from the side. Bullets coming in from the third party as well, trying to clean up and see what you can steal away from this. Had the smooth moves, but an instant shot back over. That's TT that are taking pot shots at it.
That was a messy engagement, massively messy engagement, and a perfect opportunity for Thunder Talks as well, because this is around the center of the circle right now. Thunder Talks is able to clip 2 teams out at the same time in E-Arenas, looking a little bit worse for wear here. King's not fully committing over towards it. His Alpha Gaming once again looking to ruin the day of the Falcons. That is a brave nade sent by Doc, and Reefus is just forced to handle it.
Danger close, but the danger is Alpha Gaming, and it's their middle name right now. And just one man left, Narvalo. 4 nades in the backpack, casts out the first stone as he throws it over. Top from distance, trying to catch Reed from the side. If he does peek out to shut him down, nade could be on target, just short.
Close though, Hovercraft comes in, delivering players up close. Come on, this nade's gonna go off right next to you. do all too much damage to the hovercraft just yet. Starts to smoke. Molotov sent through into the building. They don't have a read on his position just yet.
More paranoid about the compound. I think he's down to grenades now as well. Yeah, that's all the stock he's got left. Cooking this right down towards the end. Last one's going to be prime. Sideline chip damage over. They don't want to run into this and throw away one player. Ooh, but Top will get the shot on the peak. That's what they were setting up for.
Good watch from Top there. Holding in the background, has done that quite a few times there for Alpha Game when he's forced to pick up the pieces when the front line heads on in. But for Alpha Game, very, very important match for them, right? They want to climb that leaderboard up to 53 points on this match. Powers finding Ida from R8. And here's Intense Game. Pretty long range on this one. Long, broad, open spaces. Rosemary down as well. Alter Ego probably want to chill this one out.
Yeah, I think that was the team name from the back line. So the splash damage knocked him back down to his last legs. They have the smoke to at least reset, block vision, see if they can try and cauterize this one a little bit. Obviously, Intense Game, we're looking to really backdoor into this quite some time ago. Gamax as well, they get thrown into the fight versus Alpha 7. We were setting up previously. Silence fires shots back over. Ooh, this is starting to look messy in the lobby blank.
Yeah, not easy. With the circle, actually, hard shift down towards the southwest side, towards Farm as well, which is an uncomfortable area to play on the map. Alpha Game find themselves a prime position to play this one from after removing Falcons. But for Alter Ego, they got Nongshan Red Force looking to rotate in from their northern side. If they can get rid of Intense Game, there's still going to be Weibo to deal with shortly afterwards. So we'll see how Alter Ego actually figures this one out. They're going to make a rotate off towards that eastern side, which is wild, by the way. They're going to go straight through Weibo. We'll see how this pans out. Intense Game takes that moment to regroup back down with Adrian on the south side of the map, and Alter Ego gets past.
Meanwhile, you've got Squash's POV here as well inside of the compound. The only one that remains from Alpha 7. He was on a slight deviation from the rest of the squad as a solo. Casting eggs back on right now. The knocks are coming back through, and they are absolutely sandwiched with squads.
A lot of teams are struggling to make their way into this one. Fair few of our squads on the eastern side, and we're on board with one of them in R8. They try and rotate down. The remainders of AX move to the fields, just on the north side, pick up a compound to play inside of. This area of the map can hold quite a few teams, but I would say that Alpha Game currently have one of the stronger positions inside this compound. Plenty of sightlines to work with. They're not cut off on the windows.
Gamax, obviously. They were the ones to kick off the fight between Alpha 7 and themselves. On the rotation path here, they go straight past Squash and down towards the crosshairs of R8 that are just trying to play towards the edge. They've got a vehicle close by to make their getaway. For Squash, it gets a whole lot more uncomfortable. Long-term rotate for him, and Power Gaming are ahead. They've got the next position to try and guard some of these teams as they make their way in.
Origo, after that A-limb from earlier as well, did break the triple digits. Up to 100 total. Still chasing that 111 for Thrive to pick themselves up first place here. They lost Day, but Weibo just about caught him on his rotate down in towards Farm. Yeah, this rotation's not going to go too well for Gamax. That vehicle is very close to exploding. Surprised Damar doesn't just go for the full send on the spray either.
Couple shots back over. Optics of it doesn't look too great for him, so he'll try and tuck down. It's actually easy. That's what we're saying. It's Power Gaming that we're in a good position to try and guard all these teams as they make their move. Meanwhile, as that one goes a little bit quiet, we can show you back, of course, on the fight that kicked things off between Gamax and Alpha 7. This is what resulted in only Squash being the last remaining player. On his solo mission, he's at least found himself some safety inside of the zone for now. Ah, he's gone. All right.
Yeah, for Chudo, some good nades over the top, honestly. I quite like that. Corona with some more over towards E-Arena. Somehow Gamax is able to get a little bit more done. Horror versus Ida now. Aaron steps up to the plate, nade over the top. will find Jiggle. This elimination feed is just popping up time and time again. Weibo taking shots over towards Nongshim.
Yeah, the Red Force taking damage. More on the push-up. To close the gap between these two teams and make it uncomfortable for Ida. A lot of pins pulled on the nades, trying to get one right between the both of them. Spacing looks good on that. It's a clean tag. Sky gets blown over because of it. Nongshim Red Force taking so much damage from the side as well. Trying to turn it around. You can see Tizzy there with the DBS. Back over onto Weibo.
Yeah, Weibo's suffering, but they are making it work. But intense game, wrapped back up again from where Adrian was playing. He's looking to pick up the pieces that were left behind by Weibo. But Ida's doing a great job to hold this angle. Held out power, held out horror as well. Those nades to keep going through. You wonder how many more they've got left to work with. You can see Dark in here running with the level 1 vest, level 1 helmet. It is not ideal.
This is the rough part for Power as well. At one point, it felt like they had a good position to try and hold back some of the other teams. Now the shoe's on the other foot. It's only really Al Haji that has a chance to make a getaway play as a solo. The rest of the squad were pinned in, play zone, nipping at the back of them, and they've all just been picked off one by one. So he's just got to bail on the rest of the squad, look for a later survivability game from this.
No fear, just got to hold his angle. It means versus 4. Ida's got to push into him. It's a good initial knock, and a second potentially.
Oh, No Fear goes down, and you can see they at least deal with the first man that was in front of them. Quick reset on this. They've got time to pick each other back up. No one else there.
The replay from earlier between Nongshim as well as Weibo. Good nade down there as well.
Actually would be quite a nice storyline as well if we get this fight here between Alter Ego and Alpha. The way we can set that one up, the dynamics, you know, the two sides of how they play, complementing each other or fighting against one another. Nades over the side.
Oh,
but now,
man.
The fact that that is right on target, the kryptonite for him, blows him away and fragments the team. The advanced scout now down.
It bounces off the tree, by the way.
Wild rebound.
Yeah. Straight back in. It might have gone a little bit further. Rosemary, 3 nades. These 3 nades need to be real effective here. With Daybot down, it's just 2 that they're running with for Alter Ego. Krypton does get flushed out. Alva versus Alpha. Here in Farm. Alter Ego would love to get a little bit further, but Reefus finds Rosemary. He crawls his way through the grass, leaving just Alva behind now for Alter Ego. Looking for placements. We'll see how long Alva can sit in this position.
Al Haji was found as well, of course, after bailing out as a solo quite some time ago. He was spotted and sent to the circle and has been dispatched to Power Gaming. Exit stage left here at the 4th game of the day.
For Alpha Gaming, though, this is a big one. This is where they can make their chase for top 8. Eliminations right now for Damar, you can see. Quite a big total there for R8. Marth and Damar still alive, direct center. Ida is just flowing through. That is until Shing will find Darkin on the front line there. Pops him for 1. Nades continue to pour across. And Emirate's just going to wrap. They're going to give up Darkin. I like this, you know. You see there, the boys from TT are looking to move in, but this is a dangerous cross.
Oh. Going for the quick jump in the vehicles, try and have some cover from the reach. Oh my. The Bison lets it load, but they're able to handle themselves on that one. Dispatch R8 keep themselves in a good spot. And like you said, that Elim feed has not slowed down. Consistent bouts. It's constantly going.
But with that, Ida makes it into top 8 over Nongshim Red Force, so they bounce them down into 9th here. Weibo moving up now into the smoke directly on top of Ida. You got he who moves in, but not for long. He is not him. Eren will put him down. Up to 5 elims on the game. 9 total. Jumping up now past Alpha 7.
It's a massive game from Ida. That's what we were saying. It looked like they were maybe a bit of a periphery team, but now they want to be at the forefront, straight into the smoke with the bonnet. Hello, Eren, and goodbye with the DBS.
Pick up Emre there. Takes him a while. Nade goes over the top, 33Z's able to sidestep that bad boy. Continues to take chip damage. That one should be on target and do just enough. And Eren will put another one up for Ida. The solo soldier in the middle of a broken field of vehicles. Thunder Talks versus Alpha Gaming here, Jackie, likely to be the concluder. Intense game on the sidelines, have been huddled for a long, long while. Eren continues to take pot shots, but Xing will finally take either out of 4th place, though 10 elims. I think they'll be very pleased with the result on that game.
Yeah, grinning from ear to ear. Ooh, trying to reposition right here, right now, though, on the move up. There's the damage back over from Alpha Game. It's Rayfus that's able to get the spot onto him. Always on these roofs, playing these individual shots. Barraging down the bullets from the barrel, keeping them pinned in.
What?
Oh, hello.
What is Doc doing? I mean, AJ constantly plays anchor for the team. We saw him on top of Observatory. Now he's playing over towards this loot crate, using this impromptu bit of hard cover to his best ability. And he's making it so it's very hard for the boys from Alpha Gaming to start moving up. Won't be surprised if he's able to get an angle over towards Riyadh, potentially. Another loot crate comes dropping down a little bit further in. Creates even more cover towards the center of the map. And with that shift on the circle, sending over towards Thunder Talks, they took the opportunity, but a nasty spray down in the midst of it.
Oh, that is absolute filth. He's been playing this roof to a T. Every peak on target. Luckily enough, it wasn't the double spray. Could have cut them in half instantly. They can tuck back behind the rock, reset from the fight, but it is uncomfortable. Vehicle on fire, they got to bail back, hop in the car.
Man, if he got that explosion on the vehicle a little bit sooner, could have been nasty work, but AJ once again at distance. Xing goes down, Doc stepping up, and Alpha Gaming refused to lie down from farm.
They've at least got that backline, the protection, trying to hold them at arm's length. This is AJ. He's making some important plays, but up close and personal, that one's going to sting onto Doc. Was not prepared for the close quarters engagement. The cheeky peeks through the smoke are going to end right here, right now. Intense game, just consistently being hit from the side. They can't peek up against it.
19 bullets left in the mag here. It's the big machine gun in the back pocket here for AJ. Not sure how effective that's going to be at range. There's 19 bullets, got to count on that 5.56. Top's looking over. They do get Doc back up again. A disgusting single nade from King over the top will shut down the hopes and dreams of Intense Game.
That is a Maxman grenade and a half. And you mentioned it, the switch to the last weapon he has with ammunition. At this point, just trying to create space for the team, and they are going in straight in the
Vimming so far as well. There's been matches where they've been putting up elims, putting up points, but that felt pretty calculated. Once they found that good spot over towards Team Falcons, they used that confidence, that capability to take the compound away from them, and then they play slow off that position. They're not too hungry for elims. You know what? I would say even Doc calmed things down. Tiny bit.
He actually did, though. Like, he kind of reset mid-fight. Yeah, there was some risk taking, but it wouldn't be him if he didn't, right? So the fact they were set up off it and were on point in the final there, it's nice to see, Blank. It's good momentum, and it's a great point to steal a chicken dinner right now.
Top here. The babysitter of the team, I would say, honestly.
Tugging at the reins, tugging at the reins. But if you want more exciting action, you know all you got to do is stay tuned in. So we'll see you in a couple minutes' time for more from us.
Dear PUBG Mobile fans, we are delighted to invite you to the 2025 PUBG Mobile World Cup at the ESPORTS World Cup in Riyadh, KSA. This exciting event will take place from July 25th to August 3rd at the Boulevard City. We've prepared tons of event perks, such as the PMWC avatar frame, eSports Passion set, eSports Passion parachute, and tons more items. Let's check out how you can get all these rewards. During the tournament, go to the Pandora event page via Lobby, Event Center, eSports to join the event. Mormon from SEA, Top from CSA, Pedrinho from the Americas, Silas from the EU, and Prestige from MENA will guide you through the 5 major parts of the event. They consist of tournament celebration, prediction rewards, eSports shop, themed outfit, and champion challenge. Join these activities to earn rewards and collect eSports tokens to redeem even more gifts in the eSports shop. The more eSports tokens you collect, the better rewards you'll get. You can get up to 2,870 eSports tokens from the prediction event. It takes place from July 23rd to August 5th and consists of 3 stages that coincide with the tournament: group stage, survival stage, and grand finals. During the group stage, get 20 eSports tokens by predicting the 8 teams you think will advance directly to the grand finals. Each correct prediction will grant you an additional 60 tokens. Make a total of 3, 6, and 8 correct predictions to get 300, 680, and 720 tokens, respectively. You'll get another chance during the survival stage to guess the other 8 teams that will make it to the grand finals. The rewards are the same as the group stage. During the grand finals, you must try and predict the ultimate champion. Just predicting will grant 30 tokens, and a correct prediction will grant 400 tokens. If you're unsure about your predictions, you can let your friends' predictions guide you. Find someone reliable, copy their predictions, and wait to be rewarded. The 3 prediction rounds take place on July 27th, July 30th, and August 3rd at 10:45 UTC 0. Rewards are issued the second day after each stage ends at 4 AM UTC 0. You'll receive eSports tokens based on your prediction results. Note, eSports tokens don't expire and can be used in future eSports events. Who do you think will be the ultimate champion? Join the 2025 PMWC event and share your predictions. Invite your friends to join the predictions and watch the tournament unfold.
뛰어야 돼요. 거나 너가 오른쪽 집 째줘. 확인. 거나 밑으로 뛰어야 돼. 왼쪽으로. 나 폭난다. 밑으로 네 집 뒤에 붙어 있는 거 있나 확인해도 돼. 나이스. 집 안에 네 집 안에 하나 있을 거야. 내 집 안에 하나 피 먹고 있대. 라스 하나 나오는 거보다 거나 나 폭 갈게. 아 자신 있게 이거 어차피 우리가 먹었어. 먹어 그냥. 막게. 까비. 야 나오는 거 봐. 나이스.
자, 지하텐. Wyszony, Kizy.
Wyszona.
Jeb.
Wyszło Kizy?
Nice!
Baglas,
ببيت
من تروح
دور ثاني حجي دور ثاني
بس خلنا ناخذ السلاح ايزي
نايس حجي نايس
يلا يا ايوه نكمل 야 다시 하기 전 라스 하나 천천히 해봐 피
그래 우리 3명이야
라스 하나 어딨어? 야 이거 좀 오른쪽 무리야 오른쪽 단차 좀 무리다 이거
매덤이야 나오면 살아
살릴게 살리면서 하자
왼쪽만 잘 봐줘야 돼
왼쪽 뛰어오는 거 보는 중
얘들아 이거 잡으러 갈 때 양쪽으로 앵글 걸리면서 하자
아 뛸게 공방한다 맞춰 잡아 나이스 좋았다 준호 형
It is crazy to see what one of the best teams of PMWC can achieve when they actually end up playing as a team, Max, man. I mean, APG finally getting their first win.
This is their best game of the tournament so far, and as you said, they're playing as a team. It's amazing, it's beautiful, it's unexpected because Doc is on a team, but actually we're sticking together, so I'm very, very excited. And definitely a well-needed chicken dinner because they were in the middle of the rankings, right? They weren't quite in top 8. I think this game might have been doing just enough for them to actually put them in top 8, but can they remain there until the end of the day?
I think with this performance is definitely going to up the pressure to some of the other teams because remember, we're done with Erangel, Neptera. We're going to be going into Miramar, usually Alpha 7, one of those teams that ends up saying, you know what, we end up performing when we go to Miramar, that's a team that needs to perform.
It is a team that needs to perform. I think we're going to see as well a lot of teams that are very good. Oh, hang on. We got an end game, Max.
This is actually going to be the time they leave farm, and Alpha Gaming have an amazing game plan to just overwhelm all of Thundertalk because their players knocked, they're wounded, they're not ready for a crash. And actually, Alpha Gaming just don't go for the normal play that a lot of people would go for, which is crashing the rocks. No, they take this massive spread over to the east, not only controlling low ground, but also taking the high ground angle away from AJ, forcing him to kind of play more passive so he can't get shots on the player low ground. And then, as you can see, 1, 2 players low ground eliminated. Only AJ remained. He was also extremely low in terms of ammo for his M4, so long range, he couldn't get involved. That is the only way Alpha Gaming win that match, and it was pulled off flawlessly.
And on top of that, Seal just being able to just kind of get that high ground gave him the big opening. I'm surprised that Thundertalk even allowed that. And with this game right now, I mean, Alpha Gaming, 21 points. I can't wait to see what that's going to mean when we go to the overall. But Thundertalk, I mean, that's another team that's also being able to put up some points up there. Niptura, 16 points for this squad.
It's really nice to see them start to perform as well. And what I really love is how they were able to capture that high ground towards the mid phase of the game, right? I think that rather than what a lot of teams would do is just go for all those fights again and again and again and get that CQC, I think Thundertalk really just held back and was like, we're going to wait for all these other teams to start fighting. And then once they're done, we'll pick off the stragglers and then move into that space like we claimed it for real.
I love how the final spot of Thundertalk, it was initially Al-Haji had it 5 minutes before that fight happened. Then it was taken away by Damar from R8. Then it was Ida that took it. And then it was Thundertalk. Like, Al-Haji had the good idea. Unfortunately, as a solo, he couldn't quite defend the... What?
That's an interesting tactic right there for Non-Shim Red Forces saying, all right, we got 2 wins. Can we actually keep it going? Wake myself up. Just... I'm like, I can't do it. If not, then I'll end up just hitting myself with the microphone. But I want to deep dive a little bit more into some of this games. Intense game. That was another team that we expected a lot more out of. It hasn't been that way for a very long time, at least for the past 2 days. But it's good to see them finally being able to step it up here on the final day for group stages.
Yeah, especially I love the way that they played a very difficult zone, right? That zone was not easy for any of these teams. But I love how they actually were able to stick together and then move, but still be mobile at the same time. So you did have those players that were going up off to the north and then back down, but they just, by keeping mobile and stop and preventing any stagnation happening, they were actually able to end up being one of the last ones in the zone because they weren't in one place at the time.
That's right. I mean, we were talking about this 2 teams earlier. I want to take a look at a bit of a SMB head-to-head between Alpha 7 and APG because now APG is in the hunt, and this is going to be the stats for today. See who is currently outperforming who, as we'll get. I'm pretty sure we'll get a chance to see them there in a bit. But for Alpha 7, this has to be a massive, massive wake-up call, Max. This is the time for them to actually start reacting, and it has to happen in Miramar. If not, this could be the defending champions going to survival stage.
I mean, it's scary because Alpha Gaming getting a win there. Don't forget, they were just below them. They're going to look to overtake. And actually, one team we didn't talk about too much, Ida. They've been silent, but they've been climbing the ranks slowly. They've been approaching the top 8. I think they've been going top 8 a little bit early in 8th position, if I'm not mistaken. They have 2 teams overtake them out of the squads that are playing today. They're not in top 8, so they need to be careful. That's going to be their main threat, both Ida and Alpha Gaming.
And for Ida, I'm actually happy with what I'm seeing out of this squad because they're being a little bit more aggressive. And not just a little bit more aggressive, they're being very aggressive, taking on fights with R8, taking on fights with Hora Esports as well.
Yeah, I think the adjustment from yesterday to today has been huge for them. It's been really, really nice to see them be more aggressive, but not just aggressive with the CQC, just aggressive in general with the positions they're taking, with the rotations they're making. It's really nice. I do want to say just tiny nitpick criticism. They took too long on that fight with Hora, but at the end of the day, yeah, I really like what we're seeing from them.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what these 2 teams are going to be doing here, especially going into the final 2 matches of group stages. There's so much at stake. You can either get a chance to go directly to the grand finals or have to battle out against 16 teams at survival stage. Let's take it over with the first Miramar out of 2 with Blank and Jackie.
Thank you, Seven. Can't wait for this one. The kick-off. Alpha Gaming, fresh off the back of an absolute banquet of a chicken dinner, Black.
It was an APG win, which is always good to see. I think for the desk, they're highlighting that, yeah, it's the first time they're really linked up as a team properly. And I would say allowed Top to do his job. A lot of times they get away with themselves, but we're heading away over to the desert here on Miramar for our final 2 matches of the group stage.
It's where that tagline reigns true. Who's going to beat the Heat? Who will show up here? Seen some great showings from a good few collectives of our squads today, but things will change now in the last 2 games.
All the players here, we saw some of them hyping themselves up. Everyone wasn't actually sat down with Ida for a second. I was worried where he'd gone. He just took a quick lap around the arena.
Trying to keep himself in it.
Yeah. Because they're doing well. 6th place right now. They would need a few teams to jump ahead of them. Alpha Gaming, Alpha 7, Nongshim Red Force, Weibo. For Horror, I think that 51 points are a little far out at this point in time if we're Ida's having the same kind of performance each time. Then again, a 20-point game would shoot them up the rankings. But with the way Horror's performance has been today, it's not been a horror to watch, but it's not been great either.
No, it feels like there was signs of them being able to really blossom. Some of the plays we've seen from the compound crashes, the way they've been playing with the tempo, it's been nice to see, but I think you're right. I'm a little bit worried. Don't know if they have that same level of caliber, of course. You never count them out though, Blank. It feels like that team can just turn it on sometimes. So you'd love to see it, especially here, right?
Last 2 games make it happen. We get a Western shift on the circle over towards Team Falcons, who I think right now, 2 matches to go, they're not making it. Especially going down so early versus Alpha Gaming just on that crash. They look pretty weak at the moment. Weakened. It's a lackluster performance from the Falcons. Not really got off the ground just yet. Nongshim Red Force losing Benny early here. An engagement versus R8, and I think he is alone.
No real room for anyone to assist on that one with the split, so R8 able to easily grab onto it with both hands. I think it was another knockback over into Kino Trope as well that was finished off there, as we saw Power Gaming and them landing quite close to one another. They took a clean elimination off the back of that. So already a couple of scraps breaking out. Zizzy tucked in, belly down on the ground, listening for the footsteps at least.
I think your issue is for Nongshim Red Force losing a player early into Miramar, where it's a map that massively favors 4-man teams towards that end game. You're struggling now. You're 11th place. Those good games from earlier in the day, you'd set yourselves up nicely to get in towards that top 8, get that free ride through to the final, stamp your ticket. But it's all gone a little bit wrong. There's that replay, Al Hadji.
He nearly did it.
Stabbed in the eye.
God, he was quick with it. Smooth moves on the blade. The Wicked Skengman was here, but Al Hadji deals with it. Not a fan, not a fan.
So I'm backing up though, he's terrified.
Yeah. I mean, you would be.
Yeah.
He was quick, he was chicaning with the blade.
This fight's going to go on for a while though. The big difference maker right now is that R8's working with 4 players, 4 angles, compared to the 3 coming through from Nongshim Red Force. And I'd like to see them make it out of it alive, but it will be a tough task. R8 trying to get further up the rankings here, and a little bit more money perhaps. Good pick.
Yeah, I mean, nade through the window. They take the peek out. Good timing on the fight. You're able to reset as well. Med pack, so it's not going to be too bad for you. Complete health back in. Dives away as well, so he's quick on the reposition, so DeMar can't get the shot back over to capitalize off of it. Still got the nade in the back pocket. Looks like he's going to set himself up for that on the response. Cast it out with a little bounce. That's kind of cheeky.
And he's jumping out of it. This is a big play from Doc C. Let's see if it actually works out, though. He is getting peppered. Somehow makes it back into the building. It wasn't for long, though. That was a bold maneuver, a brave play.
You've got to give him props for the way he approached it, but unfortunately in the melee, it's not going too great. Response back from Zizzy with the big boy, letting the bullets rain through. And R8 trying to compose themselves off the back of this. know the angle from the stairwell is going to be problematic. Trying to focus up on it. Good spray back over. And Tizzy can't get the clutch elim in to keep them in it. So Red Force go down.
That's a big blow to Nongshim Red Force. Only one more game. Capitalize on those points now. Onto our final Miramar. Not looking good for them. And again, I have to stress, it was a great start from Nongshim Red Force earlier in the day. Korea, that was a fantastic opportunity for them, but not meant to be. Alpha Gaming with the 9th place now after that last match. A real big improvement. Boys from Power hunting down Kinotrope. Another one bites the dust there.
Even Weebu as well, finding an opportunity to take some fights over. Doesn't really go the way they were hoping it would, though. So Kinotrope, as much as it has been a rough affair of being thrown into fight after fight that's uncomfortable for them, they can at least reset from that. So it isn't the full wipe that could have been. Quickly grabbed the vehicle as well for the impromptu cover. At least had some supplies to top themselves back up.
That they are. But I don't think they're going to be in the finals, unfortunately. Alpha 7 on your screens. 10th place at the moment, 70 points. It's roughly around this barrier as well. It's real tight. It's real close at the moment. You know, 70 points up to 76. Very interchangeable right now between these 4 teams. Thundertalks overtake Ida. The chicken dinner advantage as well. They will go up 1 placement despite tying on that scoreline. Horror spots the rotate coming through from Alpha 7. This is dead center, right? They're trying to get up towards some high ground to work with. Horror currently has a big old split across Crater Fields and the ridgeline that sits over in that position. Those mountains are very, very nice to work with.
And this is the fight that has not given up. Power have just been consistently stalking Kinotrope for so long at this point, chasing them from compound to compound. Looks like AX take a knock as well with intense game, being able to isolate them once again. It's been uncomfortable in the previous 2 matchups.
Gamax taking on Falcons and losing Koa again. It's these slow decisions, slow rollouts coming through from Falcons, allowing teams to backfill them time and time again. They've got to figure something out. Add some security cameras to the back of the kit, essentially.
We did lose 1 player over from the side of Ultrigo as well, from a very quick bout between them and Thundertalks. Both teams then repositioned and called it quits on it. Seems like this might finally be the moment to strike. They bait them round the corner. It's a good crossfire. Able to hold on the doorway. Panic stations now to reset from this. The last man unable to pop off as a solo dolo. Al-Haji will handle it, and they finally close it down.
Yeah, Ozi-san attempts to the triple step up the stairs. Not going to happen though. But Power consistently putting up performance there. Looks a lot better today. We haven't had that champion moment for them just yet. Towering above everyone else so far, but it's a nice game from here, honestly. Chrono will finish off Koa. Again, I think losing Koa